I believe we are between all of you and cocktail hour, so we're going to make it interesting. Today's topic is modernizing global operations in the AI age. And it's fair to say, guys, that we are in the messy middle. Yes? Companies are rushing to adopt AI. They're rushing to integrate it. They're being pushed to integrate it, and it's really hard. Companies are struggling in all sorts of ways to bring their legacy systems up to modern competitiveness. Luckily, we have two experts here today to tell us how to solve this. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sophie.
So, Tom, let me start with adoption, because you've said that 2026 is the year of adoption.
Yes.
A lot of folks, probably not in this room, say, agents don't work very well, Tom. I'm not adopting it because it's not working. What's your response to that?
My response to that, Sophie, is you can get adoption and you can get AI agents to work really well, but it's not, yes, you press a button and you solve AI agents. And so we see customers getting, the high customer we have is 92% of their customer interactions they are solving with an AI agent. But what that takes is good data. It takes a good team on the internal side. And quite frankly, companies like Zendesk working with you from a service architect perspective. And so I would say it's possible to go get a really, really good AI agent, but it's not yet press two buttons.
Okay, but we're getting there.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. Okay. Steve, question for you on the adopters, of which many are amongst us today. A lot of companies are excited to strike out on their own, and they're going to build their own agents at home. It's very exciting. Keep their costs down, build open source, keep everything in-house. You think this DIY ethos is misguided in the long term. Why?
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, as fun as it is, first of all, if you're walking by and you're not sitting down, you're missing like wisdom and wizardry here. So feel free to just kind of come chill out with us. So that's number one.
Cosign.
Now, in terms of software, as fun as it is to like roll your own, build your own software, there's the thing, and we were just talking about this backstage. Here's what comes after you build software. You got to maintain it. You got to upgrade it. You have to take the 3 a.m. calls when it doesn't work. There's a long list of things that aren't fun about building software. And by the way, free software already exists. It's called open source. Is anybody here excited about leaving this room, going and getting an open source CRM system and running it on your own? No. No one wants to do that because it's difficult. Now, we could say, well, maybe 5 years from now, AI will make it all better. Well, maybe, but right this moment, that's hard. That's why companies like Zendesk exist, because we do the hard things. It's why Boomi exists. We do the hard things and we do them really well. So yeah, the world's going to change, but I don't think roll your own is this long-term fad that's going to stick.
Smarter to outsource, safer to outsource, and customer trust is important for all businesses in a disruptive period.
Well, it's do what you're good at, right? And just because AI, showed up, it doesn't change the paradigm. You do what you're good at. Is your expertise building and maintaining software? If it's not, then don't do that.
Now, Tom, one thing that Zendesk is very good at is the customer experience. It's what you have specialized in for a long time. I want to talk about consumers for a bit because there's a funny paradox emerging around trust. In the latest Zendesk customer service report, 2026, you found that 74% of consumers now expect 24/7 customer support because they know about AI and they say, you know what? I should have it immediately. However, you also found that 95% of those people also want to know why AI did the thing that it's doing to them. So there's a trust and a transparency gap there where I say, my expectations have never been higher as a consumer because you promised me the moon and yet I don't trust your moon.
Yeah, it's interesting. Maybe on the first point, Sophie, one of the interesting things that we've seen is because a lot of companies were 5 days a week, 8 hours a day in support, going to 24/7 has really opened up the aperture for their consumers, employees, or businesses they serve. And so there's been this SaaS apocalypse. Seats are going to go down. It may happen at some point the seats go down, but right now, because people are using it for service dividends, that they haven't been able to invest in different things from a software perspective or service perspective, we're actually seeing a reinvestment in service overall. One of the phenomenon. Your point about 92% are have high expectations and want really like a really clear box on what's going on. One of the things that we've done with it, Zendesk, is at least for the company, not yet the consumer, but we show completely open to the company why our AI agents made decisions it did. And we think it's a couple of things. One, there's a bunch of regulated industries that we serve, fintech, gambling companies. I could go on with the list, and they need to have understanding of why the algorithm is making a different decision, why generative search is making a different decision, or the decision it's making. Second, AI will make mistakes. It actually makes less mistakes, okay? AI agents make less mistakes than humans on a bunch of tasks. We do A/B testing, but it still makes mistakes. And when it makes mistakes, you want to understand why, so you can correct that, just you would with a human agent, to give your customers better service.
Have you found that when AI makes a mistake, customers are less likely to go back to AI help?
Yeah, I think there is a trust issue when it's kind of funny. A human makes a mistake, but AI hallucinates, and hallucinations are worse than mistakes, even though they're less prevalent. And we do A/B testing. On average, AI agents do better than human agents on most kinds of interactions, not all, but there is a trust factor when they make a mistake. And so we believe first you need to let someone know you're dealing with an AI agent. Some companies still do not want to say, this is an AI agent that you're dealing with. We really recommend say it's an AI agent. When you do make a mistake, you need to follow up with an AI agent, or a lot of times a personal touch from a human being that we made a mistake, and explain what went on. And so it's really important, because when people have a bad experience, whether it's a human agent or AI agent, they're less likely to go back to that company.
It seems like the lesson from the Klarna experience was that they recognized in public that the agentic workforce that they had envisioned was not fit for purpose, was not ready. And they were able to win back a lot of that consumer trust really quickly by being honest about the limitations of the technology at the time. Where are you on AI transparency? Should I have full visibility as a customer into what AI is doing?
Yeah, well, yes is the short answer. I mean, from an AI visibility standpoint, I think that right now, everybody walking around this floor and everyone outside, we are blissfully unaware of what AI is really doing inside of your organization. I think we should just admit it. Most people have no idea. They don't know that somebody in their organization saw a TikTok on OpenClaw, and they've got a Mac Mini running right now with OpenClaw on it, and they're feeding your company's data to that agent. They're just doing it. Why? Because they're just vibe coding, because TikTok told them to. But the reality is most organizations today, they don't have a plan for AI governance. Nothing. There's nothing. There's plenty of AI. We're all building agents. And if you need an AI agent, I invite you to walk in any direction here on this floor, because they're everywhere. But what we don't have, I haven't seen one single company in this entire floor that's talking about governing the AI agents, that is actually watching what they do. What skills are they acquiring? I saw a news article about an OpenClaw harness with an agent that this researcher asked it to go make a restaurant reservation for himself. The agent tried to do it via the website. It didn't have a registration or reservation system on the website. So the OpenClaw agent downloaded a voice API and called the restaurant. Now that's cool, but that doesn't work in an enterprise. Imagine an OpenClaw agent downloading a voice API to call someone in IT to ask them for database access. Now that sounds like crazy talk, but that's exactly what we're risking right now. So a governance platform for every single organization must be in place. Dare I say, it is more important than your AI strategy is how you govern it.
Well, let me ask, because governance, safety, security, I mean, in a fast growth environment, these are things that are going to slow you down, right? And this is peak competition time. This is ship or die. Tom, how do you convince a company? How do you convince a CEO to prioritize governance when everyone says, we know we need this, but tomorrow? tomorrow we're going to do it.
I think first you need to go separate those things that are true governance issues that are not. And I'll give you an example that's not. We've at Zendesk looked at a backlog of customer requests, and a lot of them were just like really small changes to our code. But we went through like an enormously heavy governance process to go do a tooltip or a hover bar on a specific field, right? And like we need to go change processes on things like that. That's not going to implicate security, data privacy, governance, and launch quicker. And like I urge the team to do that, and fellow CEOs and other customers to do that. On the other hand, there's a lot of things when you're talking about customer data, you're talking about privacy, you're talking about security and your trust, you got to take really, really seriously. Like you saw the announcement from Anthropic yesterday. That was, you read it, and even someone that heavily in AI, you're like, wow, what do I do with this, right? Like the internet could be down, and once they release this public or an open source. And so, we are spending an enormous amount of time as a company on security, to Steve's point, to governance, what kind of permissions you give to people. And we talked a little bit about this backstage, what kind of permissions you give to people on data, for instance, on to use AI agents, and when it really, really matters. And I think people are rushing really quickly right now. And we're part of this. Like we want to get our AI agents out there because we think they solve customer problems better and they do it faster, but you got to do it in a secure environment. And secure environment is trust, security, data protection, all these things that I would not buy from another company unless they put this at the heart of their moats and their value proposition.
Yeah. What I've heard today as well is, we're going to have to learn by doing, because agents execute. So we're not going to know until your customer service agent leaks my credit card details on Reddit instead of allowing me to purchase your product, right? That's how we're going to learn, because we're not going to be able to predict all of the things that agents are going to do in customer-facing interactions, to say nothing of access to internal data systems, half of which are not connected in the first place. It sounds like this is going to be a pretty rocky road, Steve.
It is. It's going to be an incredibly asymmetric ride. It's like watching kids grow up. If you think about, if you've had kids, we're watching artificial intelligence grow up. And just like my kids, they kind of have these spurts of intelligence where my son puts the key in the electrical socket and then realizes, bad idea, right? So we don't do that again. On the way I think about it on this, since we're talking about Anthropic and Mythos for a minute, if I may, I'm a big AI protagonist. I'm a big believer in it. I think it's an incredible time to be alive.
I hear a but coming.
There's a but. Talk about the greatest marketing campaign ever run. Oh, we built an AI so powerful, we can't show it to you. Oh, okay. Well, and I appreciate that they're trying to do some corporate good and there's some corporate responsibility, but every new AI model presents security risk. Everyone does, not just Mythos. So I think the fact that they've got this now super secret, ultra powerful one, there will be another super secret, ultra powerful one. These models keep coming. It's not the model. There is no inflection point. It's linear improvement on models that present security risks, present governance challenges, and we humans, we're still in charge, not two dudes at AI companies. We get to choose, and I am tired of two dudes at two AI companies deciding what everybody else does. So how about we, the people that run software, go, we're not going to do that. We're not going to give you all of our corporate data. We're going to run private models behind our firewall, because guess what? Most of your data, your employees are hemorrhaging it left, right, and center to these public models. The very thing that makes you as a company unique is slowly but surely being eroded from the inside by your own employees. So here's a crazy thought. Put a governance platform in place, get open weight models, and keep your data out of the hands of two dudes. That's the plan. And we humans get to decide. Sorry. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about.
It sounds like we're all on board in this room, at least.
Yeah.
Let me ask, is I think the same question exists on this future of customer experience. Let's just say when we solve governance, which is a big if, I recognize. The long-term vision here has always been predictive service, right? agent solves my problem before I even realize I have it. But to get there, an agent is going to have to know a lot more about me than I'm used to, right? And we already have a lot of activity from NGOs, surveillance groups, privacy groups, throwing up flares saying, wait. The same thing that's happening to companies is starting to happen in people's daily lives, in their family Apple accounts, of all things. Tom, do you think we'll get there? Are people going to become dispassionate about the types of data that we share with agents? Because I prefer that little bit of save time, so I can just not do this one task and it's frictionless for me. And I'm going to be okay with having that much information about me out there.
I don't think it's much different between a human agent and AI agent. If you share that data with a human agent or AI agent, you're giving the permission to go use personalization. And there's been, I'm old enough to remember, there's predictive analytics and old school machine learning 10 plus years ago where you could take that data and make a very personalized decision about a consumer, an employee, a customer. And so I do think I haven't thought about the two dudes. I'm going to really steal that.
We know who we're talking about.
Going forward. But I would say it is just going to be able to be mined quicker and more effectively, even though we've had AI for over 10 years. And so I don't know if everyone's going to get totally comfortable with that. And I think you've seen from the people in the European Union, from not just GDPR, but the German privacy laws and others, there's some places that are getting really, really protective of that data. And so I don't know if there's going to be a huge shift where people all of a sudden are totally comfortable giving all their data to companies.
What do you think?
I fully agree. I think we are, I think often about, boy, this feels like way more philosophical in a good way. I think often about during COVID, I didn't know, and I'm sure none of us did, what the world was going to look like post-COVID. Were movie theaters going to exist anymore? AMC's stock was near zero. Mm-hmm. Zoom was worth nearly $1 trillion. Why? And why has that changed now? Well, because we're humans. We couldn't see past the change. And we're right in the middle of this AI transformation. We can't see past the change entirely. What will we let AI do? What won't we? Yeah. But personally, and I would urge all of us to do this, there's no guarantee that an AI company won't ever sell your data to the highest bidder. There's no guarantee. In fact, in that EULA, the end user license agreement you signed, you gave them the right to do it. Now, they may say they're not today, but that doesn't mean it won't in the future. The same applies to your company. The more information you share about yourself, the more information you share about your company with these open models, these public models, the more likely you are to have that data either sold or your competitive moat, the very data that makes your company you, will be neutralized. And that's a very serious thing right now. So it's not AI antagonist, it's proceed with caution. And I think we need to do that. And you called it out in this go fast or die world. That's the hardest part, is because we all feel the same. There's this deep antagonizing need to not want to get left behind. It's why we're all here right now. Oh my gosh, I got to be in the thing. But to quote Dr. Malcolm from Jurassic Park, I believe he said that your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think whether or not they should. And that is exactly where we are with AI. It's not don't stop or stop, but there is so much that we as humans need to put in place. And I think we're woefully short of where we need to be.
There is a lot at stake. So let's zoom out for a second, because outside of the industry itself, people are really worried about jobs. And most labor reports indicate that the first wave of jobs that are going to go, if not computer programmers, are customer service workers. This is a hard question. I think people in the AI field say, no, the jobs are going to come. We just have to wait. But that delay is going to be painful. And it's going to be really painful in a world where people are struggling already with inflation and cost of living and housing issues and whatnot. So I'm curious for both of you, let's end on this. From a CEO perspective, this point of let's speed up, let's slow down. There's a lot of opinions in this room. we know that it's going to take time for new jobs to come, and we know that transition is going to be painful for society. From a CEO perspective, how do we responsibly approach that kind of disruption in our communities and our families and our networks? What is the role of the CEO leading that process?
After you.
What, the first question, we're both like after each other. I guess first I take like just a personal element here. I have a 23-year-old daughter and 20-year-old son. And I think for the past 50 plus years, you could chart a really clear path on, you study hard, you go to a university, or you take a trade, and you're going to have a successful generation better than your parents. I'm advising my kids, first of all, so that when I talk to fellow employees about this, that they need to get skills. I think it's more important than ever to have communication skills, analytical ability, a broad base of knowledge, and understanding AI to a certain extent. There's going to be kind of three groups of people. We say people that fight AI, okay? I think they're going to be really challenged. That's what I tell my kids going forward. I think there's going to be people that are going to pave the cow path, okay? Like there's a process or a workflow, and they're just going to make it a little better. I think they're going to be fine, but the group that's going to really change things are thinking about things in a transformational way. Part AI, part human element. And I tell a story. I did a application I posted on LinkedIn with my son. We did a college basketball analytics application, okay? And we spent a bunch of time on this. And it really, really, I think one of the reasons I wanted to push him into, he's a 20-year-old, using, Cowork or Codex or Claude Code or other things like that. And I think it really taught him a lot about skills and capabilities he's going to need. And like, he's a pretty deep expert in college basketball. And he was able to figure some things out that our Cowork and Claude Code was doing wrong. And so it showed him that his statistics class was important. His analytics class was important. And so I think we really need to focus on skills and capabilities that people are going to need for the AI era. And it's kind of going back to some liberal arts education, a broad-based knowledge background where you can not only prompt, but you can think critically, because you are going to have a group of AI agents working for you.
Yeah, very good.
I think that every single person in this room should think about the following question. We were talking about this backstage. It's a simple one. What is your moat? What is it? If your moat was code, that is no longer your moat. Code is not your moat. Data, maybe a little bit. Maybe that's your moat. But I think about my own company, Boomi. Our value proposition is all of your enterprise data instantly available to anyone or anything in real time. That's our value proposition. That's what we do. We make your data available to anyone, anywhere, anything, anytime in real time. For 30,000 customers, that's hard to do. So that's the beginning of a moat, but that's not entirely a moat. There's some kid right now vibing his way to try and disrupt my company, and I'm fully aware that that is out there. But the good thing is that all of us have access to these tools, not just one or two companies. So what we have to figure out is, where does the water line go when we all start innovating, vibe coding, building, changing? I will tell you this, the world's going to have a hell of a lot more software before it has less of it, based on what I see here today. And that's a good thing. So we'll see where this game goes.
A good note to end on, lots to look forward to. Please join me in thanking our fabulous speakers today.